Hey everybody, it's Stormy Iris, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Last time, we entered the first two shrines here on the Great Plateau, getting us 2 Spirit Orbs. We also got a Nintendo Switch shirt, and a few more times trying to learn how to fight a Guardian. This time around, we are going to be wrapping up the rest of the shrines, and even maybe finishing up the last bit of stuff here on the Great Plateau, because there's still quite a lot left to do before we leave. So, let's just get into it. So, we're going to come up this way, and we're going to be getting into a field. So, for preference, I'm only going to be doing the normal mode. I'm probably not going to do the master mode, at least not, like, consecutively, like, do, you know, normal mode and then jump straight into master mode. Not going to do that, because once I wrap up this first playthrough, I'm going to give it time, but I do plan on doing master mode eventually. It just won't be right away. Got that. Got him. But yeah, it'll come, but just not right away. So, take them out. Get your stuff. Do you have any extra arrows? Another Boko shield. That's good to have, considering that mine's about to break. Like these, it's also really good, just a thing to do. Just for general tips and tricks. Oh, ooh. To break things with like an axe, anything like a wooden box, a wooden barrel, things like that, wooden axe. We're gonna get into what is like best ideal for like metal crates and stuff, but I like to use magnesis, so I'm not using durability. Or even alternatively, you could use your remote bombs to be able to do that. So there was something over here that we missed, and I want to go do. Get that, and get that. Ooh, get that. Okay. So there's some bit of stuff this way. We're gonna kind of jump back this way, and we're gonna make our way back up around that way. Don't worry. We will get to... I don't know why I try. I never can do it. Not on any platform, even with motion controls, and I can't do it without them. Okay. I'm not going to try that again. I'm not going to look like a complete idiot doing it. We're going to make our way back over this way. Wind bombing, I'm going to try not to use straight away, because we really don't have anything to break the fall. So, we do it from a really dumb height. We're going to come crashing down. Hard. So, for right now, we're going to avoid doing anything with wind bombs, at least until we have something that can break the fall. We're going to come over this way, because there's something I wanted to do over here that I did not do. In fact, I avoided it. I don't know why. Shoot you. There we go. Take you out. We're going to come over this way, because there is this camp here, and I want to cause chaos. Certain enemies can have a decent, like, enemies have a certain, viewing distance, if you will. So, they can see things at a certain distance, so, critical on you, and take you out. There we go. There's a blue goblin, 72 HP. Bit tougher, to deal more damage, but, not a big increase, but yeah. What was the thing? I know I was talking about the, wind bombing. I don't know. Oh. I guess I will open this. Fire arrows, that's awesome. Oh, view distance, yeah, so, enemies in viewing distance. Ooh, actually. I want you, you're actually good. There we go. There you go. Enemies can view you at a certain distance. There are certain ways to kind of goof up enemies' sight. Certain things like stealth can make it so that you're less noticeable. Certain equipment can make it so that monsters just ignore you altogether. And we'll get into that when we get to it. But for right now, I think it's more back this way. I'm trying to take out as many. So, the reason why I'm trying to go out of my way to take out a lot of these enemies, early on, is because there is a hidden XP system within the game. You might not actually, because you won't never know it because it's not hidden or it's not presented to you. And this hidden XP system dictates how enemies upgrade and become stronger as you progress in the game. It's also how you'll be able to get much better weapons throughout your game. So the best thing to do is kill pretty much any enemy that you see throughout your adventure, because the more you kill, the more stronger enemies will become, and the better stuff you're gonna get for it. So it's a pretty decent win-win. But I also like taking out a lot of enemies too, is because it's a good experience. It gets you really flowing into the game. We're gonna make our way over this way, and there's a bokoblin camp up here. I actually kind of want to engage with them. I know I've been using a lot of distant stuff. I want to see how I want to show off some more professional stuff here. Hello, brothers. There we go. There's a parry. There's a torch. Ow. There we go. Do that. And there we go. And that's how you do that. Perfect parries will disarm enemies. I believe it is always, another really good way to do that is the spin attack. That will typically disarm enemies. Typically. Actually, I'm gonna... There we go. Ow. Ow, my bones. Alright, so I'm going to get pot lid. Not very useful for anything. And we're going to get spicy peppers. This is the reason why I wanted to come over here. There are other ways to get more spicy peppers on the Great Plateau, but this is just one of the first big spots. Because the reason why I'm doing this is to show off something cool. So, ooh, this is also something I want to grab too. Man, I really just tossed out all the Boko clubs I've managed to grab over the past few episodes. So now, we're going to get into an element called climates and temperatures. It wouldn't be a sort of kind of realistic survival game if you didn't have to deal with temperature. But yes, we will get into it in just a minute. But we're going to come back over this way. We're going to kind of make our way up and around, because we're not going to head in there just yet, because there's something I want to do beforehand. There's also another thing I want to do. So I'm going to show off one thing and then show off another. So I'm going to make my way down here. Yes. So there are bokoblins down here. I'm going to take you out. Awesome. Actually, I want to put my theory to the test and see if my hypothesis is correct. I believe hitting a perfect parry too on an enemy. Put down the ham. Will negate any do that. Oh, it is ignited. Oh, yeah. So if you botch a ow, if you botch a parry, it'll just plink off the shield and it'll take up durability. So when you get so if you don't parry with that, when you mess up a parry, it'll plink off the shield and it'll take durability. But when you parry, it won't use durability. Or if it does, it takes like a very, very small amount. Just trying to break it. Trying to... There we go. Ow. Awesome faceplant there, Link. Okay. Take that. Awesome. Num-nums. And do that. So, a good thing to get into the practice of when using, that's exactly why I wanted to do that. Okay. So, a good practice to get into doing with weapons is when they're about to break, and then if you are in a combat situation, use your throwing weapon as a last-ditch, really big hit. So I believe any throwing damage breaking on impact with an enemy. Bomb arrows. Ooh, really, really good. I believe it'll increase the amount of damage it does as a less big hit. So get into the habit of doing that with those kinds of weapons. So we come over this way. We've got some crates to break. Get an acorn. A nutty seasoning. Break that. Awesome. Okay. Come over this way. And yeah, so oh, I almost had it too. That's so unfortunate. The way it goes. It is sailing. Okay. Ooh. I really want this lizard. Got it. Okay, awesome. Hightail lizard. Lizards are going to be pretty good for elixir crafting. We'll get into what elixir crafting does in a minute. I'm going to break down chop down some trees here because we're going to get wood. And wood is a good resource. I always carry some. I do see a pigeon. Die. Okay, do that. We'll grab that stuff in just a minute. But wood is always a great resource to have. Definitely collect it as you go because it'll prove to be quite a good resource. Not just for, you know, certain things that will come up later in the game where you'll need it as a material to craft for basic materials. But it's also really good for making campfires, which allow you to pass time. And that is a good thing in itself. Do that. Gonna get more apples. Any pushing sort of thing like that will require stamina. So yeah, I'm just gonna chop down these trees here for the most part. But I do want to grab this. I don't know how well how the frame rate is on my end, or at least on video viewing end, because I'm playing the game right now on a 145 hertz. Oh my god, I sent my man's packing, dude. Jeez. I'm playing on a 144 hertz monitor, so my game's gonna run a lot more smoother. And I also typically I typically record these videos in bunches, so I won't be able to see it until afterwards. So, at least on my viewing on my other monitor, it doesn't translate as well over. So it's gonna be like the 60 FPS for the most part. But on my end, it's more so running at 144 frames per second to match my monitor's refresh rate. But so here, while we're gonna sit here and wait for the old man to come around, let's get into cooking. So the first major thing I want you to do is take a hero bass, a thing of meat, and some spicy peppers, and we're going to cook them. So this is going to cook a dish: spicy meat and seafood fry. This is something that you will want to do if you want to get a certain piece of armor, which will help you in colder climates. You show it to the old man, and he will give you a warm doublet. But we're not going to do that, because there's actually a much more hidden way to get a free doublet, because if you don't do it here, you're going to have to pay for it later. And we ain't about that life. So, put this in. It is time to cook. The best thing to do with meals is the best thing to do is try not to cook over your health limit. Oh! Wow. That's a critical cook. Oh. Check a meal's ingredients when selecting it from, okay. So, critical cooking, comes down to, it's more tied to a certain gimmick in the game, where you're gonna get a lot more of them. But it's, I believe, a random chance that can happen. It'll buff the amount of, the amount that is given back in terms of effects from a food dish. I want to do this. So certain foods have certain effects. Energizing fruit, and mushroom mix. This will automatically restore an entire stamina wheel. Again, try not to really cook everything well over the amount of health that you have. It'll prove to be really good later on, a really good habit to get into. When you get into much higher heart counts, that's when you would want to do it. Start cooking much higher heart amounts. Oh, and it did it again. There's another critical chance. That is weird. Wait. I've never been able to get that in one sitting twice before. We'll go into what happens when, the best way to know. Okay, so I have one bass. We're gonna cook this with the apples. Finish that off. Fish skewer. I did not mean to do that. But you can pass time by the fire. And do that. And another critical. What? Oh, I also have. Do that. A lot of meat stuff will provide a much higher. Meats will provide a much more potent health effect, as you can see there. I believe, or that might have been another critical. What the hell? That get more stamina effects. There we go. Okay, so here we go. So what you want to do is take a lizard, cook it with a monster part to get a potion effect. So we're gonna cook it with a bokoblin guts, and we're going to get a potent speed effect. We're going to up our speed for 4 minutes, which is really good. I need something that can be able to. Nope. Okay, cool. And you can do it with 2 slimes. Okay, I didn't know you could actually do that. Okay. So, certain things, like if you have multiple lizards or multiple, like, frogs using in the same, dish, it'll up the amount, or certain things will up the amount of, the buff that it does. It always goes up to 3. Anything like this, any haste, damage, armor, will go up to 3, as well as something like, you know, keeping you warm, keeping you cold, things like that will always usually go up to 3. We're gonna wait for him to come up. Actually, no. What you would want to do, actually, is show him the spicy meat and seafood fry. And as a reward for you showing that to him, he will give you the warm doublet. I'm not gonna do that. In fact, I'm going to avoid that. Because there's actually a really cool extra way to get it that I just want to show off. I think it's cool. We're going to cut that down, and we're going to make our way across. You can wind bomb your way across, but because I've been also taking a lot of L's so far, I'm going to keep it safe. Didn't even see it coming. I do want these apples, though. More ingredients, the better. It's always really good to have a bunch of ingredients on you at all times. Do that. And collect some more wood. Awesome. We'll open parts. I believe it's around this way. Yeah. Okay. We're going to come over this way. Yep. And blow that up. In this chest, I believe we're going to get fire arrows. I thought it was bomb arrows. Okay. Alright, so with that finally all out of the way, he also has a book in there that will tell you about the spicy meat and seafood fry, that he is looking for it. But if you were to show it to him, he will give you the spicy meat and seafood fry. Okay, so we're gonna have a haste effect. And haste effect will allow you to run and do actions faster, such as climbing. So we're going to make a bit more progress than we would have if we hadn't taken it. I believe that's how it works. I could be wrong. Definitely seems like we're making a lot more progress. There are, of course, elements to speed this up. There's a lot of really cool things in this game that benefit the game in a really good way. I'm going to get a rush room. We can cook that in a dish to have the speed effect, which is awesome. Maybe not. Do that. It is kind of wasting food to do that, but we can always cook more. This will restore our stamina all the way up. Try not to fall down though, because it will kill you if you do. The best thing to do is try to make it as high as possible, which that for me might be that cliff right there, if I could reach it. I don't believe it drains your stamina bar faster if you had to speed up, but I might be wrong. Want to make sure I'm actually on land. There we go. So yeah, I like Link. Watch Link's animation. Yeah, we're back. Okay, yeah. So yeah, pretty good tips. Speed up is always a really good thing to have. It's definitely one of the best status effects in the game. Oh, dang! How unfortunate. Seems like there's some style enemies up here who need a clobbering. Any style enemy will not despawn. So if you have a group of them, they will not despawn until you defeat all of them. Good thing to keep in mind. So we're going to open up this shrine, and now we're going to finally make our way to the next shrine. Yeah, so these episodes are going to definitely start getting longer, because there's a lot we're going to want to do in them. So we're going to get Stasis Trial here. And she can slay authenticated distilling rune. Going to do this. And we're going to get our next Sheikah Slate rune. Stasis. Stop the flow of time for an object. Awesome. No, I could be a real funny guy. And, just wind bomb. Otherwise, if I were doing my own playthrough, I would wind bomb, but for the sake of, like, showing off all this stuff, also, good tip, refresh your stasis. Anytime you use it, always refresh your stasis. Because it'll let it recharge faster, because this is the slowest recharging, stasis, route in the game. Make it, yes, okay, awesome. Ooh, Traveler Shield. Want that. Try to be unique. But yeah, you always want to refresh your stasis, whenever you use it, because it will, oh, what do I want to get rid of here? Do that, okay. Because it'll allow it to recharge faster, so you're gonna get a much faster recharge on it. So, okay, so for this. So, stasis can not only be used to freeze objects in time, but you're gonna hit items and be able to move them. Perfect landing. Also, you only have to hit it a few times. Refresh your stasis, re-get it faster. Pretty simple. Of course, there's a lot more advanced things you can do with, things like your stasis, your magnesis, your wind bombs. But for right now, these are pretty basic stuff. I would honestly highly recommend you look up any advanced tutorials for this game and learn to master them, because it is just so fun. There's another really cool speedrunning trick I would love to be able to show off here. In this playthrough, but because I am running this on an emulator, I won't be able to. I'll definitely hop onto my Switch version to show it off at some point, because it's a really cool technique. It absolutely broke speedruns So speedruns are done so significantly faster now. The temperature is getting low. So here is where I'm going to teach you some ways to keep warm. Normally, I would tell you, use a potion, or use any sort of food that would provide any sort of warmth, such as the spicy meat seafood fry, which will allow you to keep warm. But what if I told you, equip any... Oh, it has to be a fire weapon. Or if you can just have it out. I'm an idiot. I guess not. Okay, you have to have a fire-based weapon out. There we go. And there we go. So, you can do this. You can use the worm to play. Chaos. Oh my god! Oh my god, where'd it go? Oh my god, it landed all the way down there. It shot so far. Ooh. Well, if I could get some of the drops, that'd be kind of great. Maybe not, I suppose. A good thing to note too, when you shield surf, anything like sand or snow will not use durability because it's smooth. Oh. That's annoying. Chaos. You're really gonna be a problem, aren't you? Yeah. Get out of here. Oh. It is gonna be it. It's it. Okay. Okay. But yeah, always use your, always use your shield on anything like snow or, sand. Because it will, not take durability on it. But of course shields have durability, and other shields have really good durability, and some have the best durability in the game. But yeah, so if you want to be able to get to, like, places decently fast, shield slide. Shield surf. Do that. Doing that will allow you to get a little bit of cheap damage off. But it doesn't do much, I'm pretty sure. There we go. And we're going to make our way up this slope. That is... Oh, is that just one of the random weapons that ended up here? Oh my god. Oh, there's some really funny things you can do. Ooh. That, my friend. Actually. How much does this do? I don't want him to drop. There we go. Take you out, and we'll call them nuts. Open this chest, I believe it'll be an amber. Alright, awesome. Ooh, is this actually... Yes, it's really good. Hold on. Spike Bulker Shield. Better durability. I believe... maybe I'm... To know, like, certain shields can do damage. But we won't be seeing that for a while, so I wonder, too, maybe it's just, like, the amplifier of damage when you shoot back? I don't know. If someone knows, like, the ins and outs of how, like, shields specifically work, would you be able to let me know? No, I hear keys. Die! God, you're going to learn real fast that keys are your worst enemy in this game. They suck. And away we go. We can jump to get a bit more distance. We're going to make our way up to the top of this. Because up here is something really cool. This will take the slope. You're naturally slower in the snow. Or anything like this that'll drag, like, there'll be a lot more energy to move around. So what I recommend you do is whistle sprint. So you hold on the whistle button and you mash the sprint button. You pretty much have infinite stamina. And doing this will allow you to be able to run farther. And you come up here, and the old man's up here. A fierce cold atop these mountains can take quite a toll as the night sets in. Oh, breathtaking view. This may be the best place to get a full view of the entire plateau. Use your scope to look for shrines, and when you locate one, place a pin on your map as a marker. You did well to make it this far without proper clothing. Please take this warm display as a reward for your tenacity. Yes. So, I assume you want to try it on right away, yes? I thought you might be eager to see how it looks. It's quite fetching. Well, I suppose it matters not. It is yours now. Do take care to put it on before you get too cold, though. Yeah, so this is a really out of the way thing. You don't have to do this. Like I said, if you don't do the show him the spicy meat and seafood fry recipe, this is the alternate way to get the warm doublet for free. Because like I said, once you get past the Great Plateau, you're gonna have to buy it because reasons coming up. I just wanted to show it off because I think it's just a really interesting way to do it. So I'm gonna shield surf our way down, rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta find on my rainbow. Ow. Do that. You might have arrows, so I'm even gonna want to kill you. Drop me arrows. You did, in fact, not drop me arrows. Oh, there we go. Alright, it's coming up this way. Oh, Jesus! Oh, damn it. I didn't realize it was about to break. Okay. Oh, that's not a big problem. But you have like a ton of other bows. Oh, so if you hold down the bow button, that you would choose to shoot the bow, you can bring up the bow menu, so you can choose the bow you want and your arrows. I don't know if I meant to show that off before, but yeah, you can do that. So we're gonna make our way up on top of here. Your chest floating there in the water. Don't go in the water, because it will freeze you and kill you really fast. Kednamut Shrine. Awesome. Last shrine here on the Great Plateau. We still have things to do before we hit off the Great Plateau, but there's something we're going to do after this shrine. This is going to make getting around the Great Plateau a lot easier. So, let's skip that, and we get Cryonis. There we go. Sheikah Slate initiated distilling rune. God, I like the texture of like the Sheikah symbols going down the stone and then forming into the drip. It's like so cool. I like that. And here we go. We now have Cryonis. So you might notice there is a rune missing from that lineup, and that is the amiibo functionality. So yeah, Breath of the Wild has amiibo functionality, and I will show off what amiibos do, but not on this version. At least not in this file. I actually had to load up my Switch for that. And we have another little dungeon guardian. I believe there's just scouts. Oh. Ow. Oh. Game. There we go. Yep. Ow. You can parry these. You can do it. But what? Excuse me, game. I was too early. You can do it. I promise you can do it. Like that. There you go. It is a one-shot, but they have, like, no health anyway. I want to show that off. You can do that. There you go. I'm going to come up here. Oh, right. Probably should get up with the chest. I can flop at it and do it horribly. This, I believe, will be a Traveler Spear. Yeah. Inventory is full. How amusing. Would it be nice to have another... No. There we go. Open up the chest. And get... the spear. Again, doesn't do a whole lot in damage, but it's really good for range if you don't want a certain enemy near you. Okay. Up here. And come up this way. Up here. is the last shrine. Awesome. We skip this because it's just the same cutscene every time. And we now have four orbs. Awesome. Okay. So. Oops. My empty bottle that I was just drinking from fell off. My bad. Picked it up after. Oh, extraordinary. That means it is finally time. Link. It is finally time for me to tell you everything. But first, if you actually look on your, look in the direction of him, you actually see that he's pointing at, the Temple of Time. Really cool visual detail. It actually, it's really good. Oh, he's a ghost. Do you understand the two lines connecting the shrines? Maybe he'll be there. Okay, awesome. But yeah, if you actually use the camera within the cutscenes to look, you'll see that he is in fact pointing at the shrine, at the Temple of Time. So that's where we're gonna be going. There are things that we can do over in this area, but I want to head over here first because it'll make doing the rest of the Great Plateau a lot easier. So come over here, back to the Shrine of Resurrection. Yeah, so we're going to put the switch shirt back on. Because you're no longer in a place where it's going to be cold. Up here. Alright, and God, like, I didn't talk about it, but just the view of, the opening shot in the game will always just be so iconic to me. Like, nothing can, like, take back, like, experiencing it for the first time. But, man, it is so good. And it's one of the biggest things I'm excited about from Tears of the Kingdom. Just having just that opening shot that just takes your breath away. And that is really what I'm excited for. I hope that it'll also just have one of those really nice shots that really just take your breath away. Well, but we will know in due time. So, come over this way. Oh, crap. There was something I forgot to get. But that's alright, because we can just teleport it back. Okay. We're already over here. So, something you'll notice is that there is a glowing, the statue in here is glowing. Come over here. And come talk to it. To pray. You have conquered the shrines and claimed your spirit orbs. I can offer you great power. It appears you have claimed 4 spirit orbs. In exchange for 4 spirit orbs, I will amplify your being. So tell me, what is that you desire? So you can choose between a heart container and a stamina vessel. Heart container will get you more hearts. Stamina vessel will get you more stamina bars. I'm going to go for hearts for a reason we'll get into. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing your stamina first. In fact, quite honestly, I would honestly recommend doing your stamina first. But because there is something I want to be able to get early on, at least early on within the adventure before we hit, doing certain, areas, I want to amplify my hearts as much as possible. Oh! It's all the way up there. The blessing of the goddess has made you that much more resilient, I see. Here I am. Get up here, quickly. Cool little tidbit of dialogue info. If you actually end up goofing up, if you choose not to pray at the goddess statue, he won't say that line. Where it seems that the blessing has made you stronger. He won't say that. He'll simply just say, Link, I'm up here. Get up here quickly. So, do what he wants us to do. And make our way up here. And whoa, is that a UFO? No, kidding. And I'm up here.
Well done there, young one. Now then, the time has come to show you who I truly am. I was King Rome Bosphoramos Hyrule. I was the last leader of Hyrule. A kingdom which no longer exists. The Great Calamity was merciless. It devastated everything in its path, lo, a century ago. It was then that my life was taken away from me. And since that time, here I have remained in spirit form. I did not think it wise to overwhelm you while your memory was still fragile. So rather than that, I thought it best to assume a temporary form. Forgive me. I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago. To know Calamity Ganon's true form, one must know the story from an age long past. The Demon King was born into this kingdom, but his transformation into malice created the horror you see now. Stories of Ganon were passed from generation to generation in the form of legends and fairy tales. But there was also a prophecy. The signs of a resurrection of Calamity Ganon are clear, and the power to oppose it lies dormant beneath the ground. We decided to heed the prophecy and began excavating large areas of land. It wasn't long before we discovered several ancient relics made by the hands of our distant ancestors. These relics, the divine beasts, were giant machines piloted by warriors. We also found the Guardians, an army of mechanical soldiers who fought autonomously. This coincided with ancient legends, oft repeated throughout our land. We also learned of a princess with a sacred power, and her appointed knight, chosen by the sword that seals the darkness. It was they who sealed Ganon away using the power of these ancient relics. 100 years ago, there was a princess set to inherit a sacred power, and a skilled knight at her side. It was clear that we must follow our ancestors' path. We selected 4 skilled individuals from across Hyrule and tasked them with the duty of piloting the divine beasts. With the princess as their commander, we dubbed these pilots champions, a name that would solidify their unique bond. The princess, her appointed knight, and the rest of the champions were on the brink of sealing away Ganon. But nay. Ganon was cunning, and he responded with a plan beyond our imagining. He appeared from deep below Hyrule Castle, seized control of the Guardians and the divine beasts, and turned them against us. The champions lost their lives, those residing in the castle as well. The appointed knight, gravely collapsed while defending the princess. And thus, the kingdom of Hyrule was devastated absolutely by Calamity Ganon. However, the princess survived to face Ganon alone.
Link, you are our final hope. The fate of Hyrule rests with you.
That princess was my own daughter. my dear Zelda. And the courageous knight who protected her right up to the very end. That knight was none other than you, Link. You fought valiantly when your fate took an unfortunate turn. And then, you were taken to the Shrine of Resurrection. Here you now stand, revitalized 100 years later. The words of guidance you have been hearing since your awakening are from Princess Zelda herself. Even now, as she works to restrain Ganon from within Hyrule Castle, she calls out for your help. However, my daughter's power will soon be exhausted. Once that happens, Ganon will freely regenerate himself, and nothing will stop him from consuming our land. Considering that I could not save my own kingdom, I have no right to ask this of you, Link. But I am powerless here. You must save her, my daughter, and do whatever it takes to annihilate Ganon. Somehow, Ganon has maintained control over all 4 divine beasts, as well as those guardians swarming around Hyrule Castle. I believe it would be quite reckless for you to head directly to the castle at this point. I suggest that you make your way east out to one of the villages in the wilderness. Follow the road out to Kakariko Village. There you will find the Elder Impa. She will tell you more about the path that lies ahead. Consult the map on your Sheikah slate for the precise location of Kakariko Village. Make your way past the twin summits of the dueling peaks. From there, follow the road as it proceeds north.